Hey, what's going on? It's Alex with Grow with Meerkat, and in this video, we're going to cover managing the users on your website. Everything from adding a new user to editing or removing existing users. So right now, I am on the main dashboard of a WordPress website, one that I've set up just for this tutorial series. Yours may look a little bit different depending on what plugins and stuff that you have installed, but it should be laid out very similarly. So to manage the users, we're going to come down here and click on users in the left admin menu. And it will show you a list of all the users on your website. It may be a longer list, it may be a shorter list. If you have e-commerce enabled, you'll probably have a pretty long list because all your all your customers will be in this list as well. The only thing that will be different is their role right here will say customer instead of administrator. WordPress has a couple different user roles that give different privileges for the website, and I'll cover that in just a minute. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to add new user. I'm going to show you how to add a new one. And you can click either this button up here that says add new, or you can click add new down here in the lower left admin menu as well. So the first questions that it's going to ask you is the username. You can do usernames. They can be almost anything that you want on the website. I like to standardize them for my websites. And so a lot of times what I'll do is first initial followed by last name, all lowercase, no spaces. So for me, I would do A. Brinkman. But since I'm already actually in here, let's do, we'll just do John Doe. So I'll do J Doe, email jdoe at growwithmeerkat.com. First name John, last name Doe, and website. This is really optional. You can do kind of whatever you want with this. Grow with Meerkat. For the password, I leave whatever's in here because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the users reset them later. And the reason that I don't like to put in a password for somebody is because I don't want to know somebody's password. I don't want that responsibility. And they can always reset their password anyway. So a lot of times what I'll do when I'm creating a new user is I will leave this as whatever strong password it's generated for me. And I will leave this box checked that says send the user an email about their account. And what's going to happen is when I click add new user, it will email this person and say, hey, you have an account set up on so-and-so website. Here's the link to log in. And what I tell people is, hey, the first time you go to log in, use the lost your password link. And actually, let me show you what that looks like. growwithmeerkat.com/admin login. See, there's a little lost your password link at the bottom of the website. And if you click that, they can do a password reset. And then that way they can reset their own password. I don't ever have to know what it is. In WordPress, passwords are one-way encrypted, so I can't ever look anybody's password up, but we can send and generate password reset links, which is a more secure way of doing that. So I like to leave that. And then the last option here is role subscriber, contributor, author, editor, administrator. These are all varying. These are roles all have different levels of capabilities within WordPress. And to make it a little easier, I put together a little graphic here to kind of explain what they're going to be. And so let's start with administrator. We'll work our way backwards. Administrator is the top level. They can do everything. You'll notice they've got a checkbox right here in every row. Administrators, you're going to want to limit to people that you 100% without a doubt trust with having access to your website. Because they can do everything. They can add new users. They can delete your user account. They can post things. They can delete plugins, change functionality, whatever it might be. The administrators can do everything. So you want to make sure only people that you 100% trust should have an administrator role within your website. The next one is an editor, and you'll see that they can log on to the site. They can read posts. They can comment on posts. They can edit and delete their own posts that they make on your website. They can publish posts to your website. They can upload images and PDFs and things to your media library. They can publish, edit, delete any page or post. They can manage categories within your blog, and they can moderate comments. So an editor, a good person for an editor would be if you have maybe a manager on your website or a manager within your business who kind of oversees it. An office manager may be a good example of an editor because you'll notice they don't have the ability to manage plugins and widgets, and they cannot edit or remove users or themes. So they can't lock you out of your website. So this is a good for somebody who's going to be managing your website. That's probably maybe somebody that you've hired where that position may change later, whatever it might be. That would be a good person for an editor. An author can log into the site, read posts, comment on posts, edit and delete their own posts. They can actually publish posts to your blog, and they can upload to a media library. So author is one you're probably not going to use too often. Most of the time, I find a lot of my clients use contributor and editor more than author. And the reason being is this one right here, the ability to publish posts. So let's say you're running a blog and you have some people who are guest posting for you, or maybe all your posts are guest posts from people within your industry or niche, however you pronounce it. You're probably going to want to make them a contributor because they can log into the site, they can read posts, they can comment, and they can edit, delete, or add their own post, but they can't publish them. Meaning they can write something and then somebody with a higher level of access, such as an author, editor, or administrator, needs to actually publish it. So this is good for a guest post because they're a guest contributor to your website, because you can give them the access to go in, create the post, do what they need to do, and then you can have somebody come in and say, yes, this is approved, let's publish it, or hey, I don't want this published on my website until X corrections are made, whatever it might be. So this is a good one for guest contributors to your website. Subscribers are going to be, this is one that's not used too often unless you want people to be able to subscribe to your blog, which, some websites do, some websites don't anymore. It was a big thing for a while. And these are people who can log into the site. They have an account on the website, but all they can do is literally read post and comment on post. So it's pretty much like a regular user on your website with the ability to actually log in and you know who that person is, which can be helpful. So if you are building an email list or things like that, it might be useful to allow people to subscribe to your website. They can't really do anything. They can't modify anything. They can't break anything. They can really only kind of log into your website to let you know who they are and what they're reading and things like that. So that would be a good one if you're trying to grow really an audience and things like that. But I would say most of the time, your people are either going to be contributors or editors. And again, if you have somebody that you 100% trust, you would make them an administrator. So your Grow with Meerkat developer and account representative is probably going to be an administrator. You're going to have an administrator account most likely, just so you do have full access to everything. And then the people you add will probably either be editor or contributor. All right, so let's jump back here. I'm going to make this person an editor. John Doe, he's going to be my new editor. And we're going to click Add New User. Now you'll see John Doe has shown up here in the list. He's got a login that he'll be able to log in now once he resets his password, and he will be good to go. Let's say later on I want to change John's password or whatever. John emails me. He said, hey, I don't remember my password. He could just use the reset or lost your password link that we saw here. But also as an administrator, I can come in here and click this button right here, send password reset, and it will email John a password reset link just to save him a step. And it's just kind of nice from a customer standpoint. If you have an e-commerce website where, again, you're going to have all your customers here, that's super helpful. If a customer emails you and says, hey, I can't remember what my password is, and instead of trying to walk them through the password reset, you could come in here, find them, send them a password reset, and then they could do what they need to do. If we wanted to change John's role later in the future, let's say we don't want him to be an editor anymore, maybe he leaves and he's still within the industry and we want him to contribute to our blog, we could make him a contributor. I just click on edit and you'll see role, editor. I could move him to a contributor, update user. And as soon as I click update user, even if John's logged into the website, his capabilities will change. And there are certain things he will no longer be able to do, because I've changed his role within the website. And then let's say later we don't want John on the website anymore. We can just click delete and confirm deletion, and it will get rid of John. You can also do stuff like this in bulk. If we had multiple here, I could go down here and check all the boxes, and then you'll see we've got bulk actions I can do, send password reset or delete, and then apply. And if there were multiple users here, it would list them all and then confirm deletion. John is no longer a user on this website. So that's really all there is to managing the users on their website. It's pretty straightforward, but this graphic I think will be really helpful in determining who should have what role when you're adding users to your website. So if you have any questions, let us know, and I'll see you in the next video.